Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I'm a boomer. I think I'm a zoomer. I think I'm a doomer. Damn, I'm Montezuma. Okay. EWGWHITE coming with the heat. I stay fooling with my bot, my tunes will make your speakers hot. Dance floor, hopscotch, baby, do the pop and lock. Boots I'm trying to knock. Once she see my face, she told me, nah, I don't need your bitch. Mr. X, they hot as lava rocks. All the hate, I'm numb to it. Drop the beat, I'm dumb to it. I got flavor, baby, go ahead and put your... Welcome to the Grillcast Decision 2020, the grill action special you've been waiting for. And holy fuck, we have a lot to go over this time. How about it, boys?
It's happening. Biden's done it. So it seems. For now.
We are
Yeah.
entering the age of Malarco Bidenism. The malarkey is set in.
Not so fast, gentlemen. I think we're all aware of the impending lawsuits and civil unrest. In fact, our forecaster has informed me that we should expect at least 2 months of rioting and millions of dollars in litigation.
You know, I'm glad that you brought this up because this is something I wanted to talk about with everyone. There is fraud afoot, massive fraud. We see it right in front of our faces. So many ballots stolen, so much cheated. This is a fact. And when we come out at the end of this, we are going to see Biden isn't the winner. He was never the winner. It was always Jeb Bush.
No, I can't agree with that. I don't think that's the right angle on the fraud here. The fraud that's happening is
Is
that
against Jeb Bush. I'm glad you agree, Micah. You see all of these votes. Nobody likes Biden. Nobody likes Trump. We're all sick of these old fucks. The only person who's going to bring us back to reason is Jeb Bush. That's why
look,
he ran.
we both know that millions upon millions of write-in ballots were sent for Hillary Clinton.
No one likes Clinton either. Well, I know it's true, and I think she frauded Bush. I think she
Mason,
invalidated his ballots.
Has the fraud been committed against Bush or Clinton in this election?
Oh no, it's all been against Kanye. And not just that. I mean the way
Fucking
he's
third
been
party voters.
slandered in the media, like there's been so much election interference trying to take down Kanye.
Dude,
It's
fuck you. You either handed the election to Biden or you handed it to Trump. So fuck you.
Yeah, goddamn third party voters. They do this every time. Your guy's never gonna get in. Nobody cares about your wackadoodle ideas. We want the common sense candidate. In every election, you people do this.
true common sense is wanting that presidential mixtape. That's the greatest good you can get. I mean, that would like
The third party voter is like the epitome of the mental masturbator because not only do they just like not give a shit, I mean I'd be fine with that if they just didn't give a shit about what's going on. They just felt like fucking throwing their ballot, but then they go online and fucking virtue signal about it, like tee hee, I voted third party.
it's
Yeah,
crazy from a couple angles because I've seen like obviously I'm seeing like right wingers like meltdown about the libertarian vote and how they totally would have won if it wasn't for those filthy libertarians. But I also saw when Trump was winning, like left wingers saying the same thing about libertarians, and it's like somehow everyone thinks libertarians are on their side, but they hate them. I mean, not on their side, but they think they'd vote for their candidates if they weren't voting libertarian. I don't know. It's like Schrodinger's libertarian.
Sam.
hating libertarians brings both sides together. I feel like.
I don't appreciate you simping for libertarians right now.
I would say I'm sipping for libertarians. I'm just, it's kind of funny.
Libertarians did nothing. They did nothing wrong.
You know, I'm going to take the center approach here, and I'm going to say that I feel like libertarians voting for their candidate, it's stupid. They're never going to win. But at the same time, like, none of the other candidates deserve their vote either. And I don't think you watch enough Rick and Morty to understand why they voted for them in the first place. It's the biggest fuck you that they could give. It's a bigger fuck you than not voting, because if you don't vote, nobody can be like, no, they would have voted for my guy. When it comes down to it, when you vote libertarian, you're just pissing everyone off. And I can kind of appreciate that.
I do gotta really love all the like the leftists on social media, and they're all like celebrating and posting, and they're all like, "Wow, guys, like we came together and we did it. We voted out the fascism."
That's always funny. We did it. We elected Joe Biden, the guy that last year we were saying stole the vote from Bernie, or I
Well,
guess
it's
a few
just
months ago.
it's just like we defeated the dictator fascist, like authoritarian in a democratic election.
I mean that remains to
Wow.
be seen. Let's not pretend that Trump isn't
Yeah.
getting pretty wild with this shit. Like he's definitely the whole narrative of like he's gonna
Yeah.
accept the election results, like shady or whatever you think. Like absolutely, he's not accepting the election results. Like
Did you see the fucking press conference? He walked out there. He was like, "Y'all cheated. We fucking won, and we're gonna prove it." And then he just walked out, and the media just like started flipping their shit.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not really it's not a good look if he because I don't know like it's not a good look if he doesn't win any of these court cases. Like it's kind of like I don't know like no matter what happened, it's not a very dignified way to leave
No,
office.
it's not. Like if he wins, like he'll be in a really good situation, honestly, given the House and Senate. But also like the entire country will be seething and kind of like we'll be at a point like where we're more divided than we even thought we were.
That's kind of interesting. The other thing, what you said about the House and Senate, because this is a truly like centrist victory if Biden goes through. Because with the
Yeah.
Supreme Court and the Senate and the House, I mean, it's just absolutely nothing is going to get done. And the other thing is, without Trump, nobody's going to care about politics anymore. Which is sad because it's the centrism that's disinterested instead of the centrism that I like, where you pay attention and think everyone's stupid. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, like the normie voter is the true centrist. The one who doesn't go to vote just stays home and fucking grills.
Exactly. And this is a win for them.
That's very true. It was a win for the apathetic centrists. The Republicans, while not taking the presidency yet that we know of, they won the Senate, they won Congress, and they actually won a lot more minority voters. I'm looking at some of the data here for this race, and they gained 3% Latino, 4% Black for both men and women, 5% other, 2% white women, and ironically enough, they lost 5% of white male votes. This kind of blows white nationalists the fuck out who are like, oh, you can't make inroads. We have to keep our nation white. Otherwise, we'll never have another Republican. Brr, 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 brr.
Well, they're like their counter to that would be to say that like because Trump has been signaling so hard to like non-white voters that their guys, lost faith in him. And if these retarded NPR and New York Times articles are to be believed, there are millions and millions of those people out there.
Yeah, that's true. I've seen it on 4chan actually. I've seen people be like, he doesn't care about us. He just spent $500 billion on gamer words and he's just leaving me to die. And it's like, I
At
don't
least with
know. What do you want?
at least with Yang, I would have had my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Please, based Asian man, placate me with your money.
I think Yang would have won handily in any
Yeah.
party he ran for just because everybody wants $1,000.
I'm still wondering how he lost in the primary. It never made sense to me. He had holograms. He had money he was giving out to everybody. Like,
It's because America is a white supremacist state.
My heart got so hollowed out when I learned he wasn't going to be the nominee because he wouldn't have been able to be president and implement that program so I could raise the rent by $1,000.
I know. Think of all that money that we lost, all that wealth we could have extracted from our rentoids. It's a sad day indeed.
So I mean, like, what do you guys think even happens? Like, I personally at this point believe that like these lawsuits are going to drag out well beyond a month. Like, what's the reaction going to be to that?
Well, I think that I don't know that Trump supporters necessarily riot or burn down cities. I think that they have like they've had like prayer circles. They do like truck drive-bys where they all drive by with their truck like yeah, but I don't know that they really do anything. So as far as civil unrest goes, I don't see a whole lot of that.
I mean, I'm expecting at least one militia group to go like off the handle and do some wild shit. Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm expecting a mass shooting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
read somewhere somebody's like planning a right wing march on DC, like fucking Mussolini's march into Rome.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
We could see more right wing organizing and in person things. That'd be interesting because
but
you know Antifa shows up to all of those.
this is either like highly destructive and unprecedented or extremely centrist, where we now have half of the country that doesn't believe the election's legitimate.
I mean, looking at it, I kind of think that Trump might win in a lawsuit based on like one simple thing is that I just don't really believe in this election for pretty simple reasons. Like, I pretty much believe the CIA and the NSA like control everything. Like pretty much everything that happens. Like I spill my coffee, it was probably the CIA. And I just look at this like all these votes are so close and the narrative is just so insanely dramatic. Like he wins Florida, but Biden comes back. And it's like, if I was watching this movie or reading this, I would, I'd say the author jumped on the shark. Like, it's ridiculous, It just doesn't seem believable. Like, I would have thought Biden was going to win in a landslide, honestly. And so that makes me think, like, the most dramatic possible thing that could happen next would be a sudden Trump comeback. So, I don't know.
I
It
thought
depends what the Illuminati wants.
I think we just had an Alex Jones moment.
Oh, we got some of him coming up later. Don't you worry, folks. For now, I think we should get into some screenshots that I took. I've been scouring the internet for various copes, various cringe. You know, you go on right wing spaces. They're all basically yelling fraud, fraud, fraud. We're gonna take it back. And I mean that's kind of interesting, but I think we've all seen that. I'm gonna go over my first screenshot here, and this is a man who lost 38,000 betting on Trump. So he goes on to say, literally 2 years of working 60 hours a week to save that much. My mom lost her job from the corona economy, and this was supposed to help us. And somebody just replies, LMAO, commit suicide.
I mean, none of these people deserve sympathy. Like, if you bet on a fucking election, you're you're retarded.
I mean, I'd say it was a pretty good bet. I mean, looking at the polls, like it was closer than it should have been. It's not really. It's just betting everything you have to the point where you're destitute if you lose is obviously stupid. I mean, that's just not. That's just a dumb thing to do in like pretty much any bet. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
that's the equivalent of the fucking guy who takes out $12,000 of credit card debt to buy Bitcoin, like right before a crash.
What's scary about it though is like I don't know, this guy just thought 100% Trump was gonna win. It was all gonna be okay. Like his, identity is probably based around Trump. Like he was so confident for a reason. His reality just rejected the idea that the unbeatable Trump could lose. And now he's
He spent every waking moment watching Trump rallies. He can't lose. Look at all those people.
winning and it's shattered now. And, like it genuinely might do something. That might not be entirely a joke. Like this is a person
Yeah.
whose entire worldview has been deconstructed. He has no financial way to support himself. And he's probably realizing that he's a massive dumbass. And that's something that doesn't get better with time. I mean, if you're that stupid, you're going to be for life.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit, man.
It's a real problem. And, that's just a result of being in an echo chamber and spending all your time in echo chambers. What happens is you see a bunch of people who agree with you and amplify your worldviews to the point where you get yourself into a mindset like that, where you think that that's a good thing to do, that there's no way you can lose. And then you'll lose it all.
I'm really happy we're finally in an election where we have both candidates declare victory.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Everybody wins.
We should have another debate. The fourth debate or the third debate, I guess. That'd be sick. They could just sit there. You're a fraud. I'm the president. No, I'm the president.
I think that's just court, bro. I
Yeah.
think that's the fourth debate or third debate or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but there really is like no constitutional precedent for dealing with election fraud, which is the most interesting thing about all this. Like if it goes anywhere.
Yeah, I think that some people are a little too I don't know, they're a little too confident about which way it's going to go. They either think like, "Oh, Trump's just lying and it's all going to go away."
Yeah,
They're going
we have
to
no idea. We have no
yeah,
fucking idea.
it's all up in the air. So, I actually have some cope too from some Biden supporters. If you remember early on in the election, the actual election day, people thought that Florida was in play. Now, I've always thought that that was profoundly retarded, but Biden supporters thought it was in the bag for them. So after they lost Florida, I have a few screenshots of things that Redditors said. One guy says, "You want to blame anyone for Trump winning Florida? Blame the Cubans and their fear of socialism." Someone replies, "Send their dumbasses back the same way Trump wants to do it to the Mexicans." That's pretty centrist.
Yeah, it's
Just
pretty
support
base.
people who disagree with you. I don't see
Yeah.
skin color, I just see ideology, and I want the ideology that disagrees with me to be deported.
Yeah.
Another redditor says, "Dirty Cubans, we should send them all back to Cuba. They've cost us the state."
Isn't that just horseshoe theory?
Yeah, horseshoe
Yeah.
theory confirmed yet again. Both sides get so mad about horseshoe theory, that's how you know it's true.
Yeah.
One last comment from angry leftoid redditors: "Black voters need to get their fucking shit together. You came out for Obama because he was black, but God forbid you support a candidate who holds your best interest but doesn't look like you. I can't
Oh,
believe people can be so fucking stupid."
wow.
That
That's pretty enlightened.
that goes back to the Bernie voters. Who were like, you're voting against your own interests. Every time someone says you're voting against your own interest, you know it's going to be like a very interesting shit show. It's like,
Well, it's like it's people who think that they know your own interests better than you know your own interests.
If somebody tells that to me, like about how I'm gonna vote, I'm just like, it's my interest that you suffer.
That's a very own the libs ideology.
I don't, dude. I don't care if it's a fucking conservative or a liberal, a leftist telling me that. That's gonna be my response.
don't you poor, uneducated, stupid, dirty morons realize I'm trying to help the lower
I
class?
hope, like, I hope everybody, like, I hope everybody here and in the audience recognizes that the petty vote is a real thing.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah, big
petty
time.
the petty vote is real, and it has substantial consequences.
Well, that's probably how Biden won. Like I don't know many people that are like he was my guy from the beginning. They're just like, yeah, this other guy kind of sucks and his supporters annoy me, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna own the conservatives.
yeah.
That's what this election was. 2016 was the election of owning the libs. This year isn't the year of Biden, it's the year of owning the conservatives. And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
What is up, my Grillas? We have experienced catastrophic recording failure, and as such, we lost a few minutes of the show. So we're picking up from here. Sorry about that. Let's get to the next one. Alex Jones actually went out to Arizona too. I watched Infowars that night. He was blackpilled through the whole thing. He was saying the whole time it's gonna be stolen, and here he is yelling about it in public with a megaphone.
America is rising. And America knows you're a bunch of Chi-Com fascist commies that will be defeated.
It's kind of
1776 will commence again.
Chi-Com fascist commies. I like how that's kind of been like a thing. I know it's been a thing like opposing China, but in the last like month, it's been like Joe
That's my
Biden
political.
is a
That's my political ideology.
Opposing China or supporting China?
I legitimately like the government of China.
Oh, you like them. Okay, I thought you were saying you don't like them.
No, I'm saying I align politically with them.
So you're a Chi-Com communist fascist then.
Yes,
Okay, that's pretty based.
off
I'm here
center.
for it.
I do kind of like some things about China. I like how they just get away with things all the time. Like nobody ever, they don't have like Europe, like America. We let these Europeans like talk shit about us all the time. Nobody does that to China. There's no like, they don't just take shit constantly. They don't have,
The Chinese elections are just so simple. You know,
yeah.
like
The
you know,
Communist Party wins, but then they do incredibly capitalist things like not having intellectual property laws. Intellectual property laws are pretty
yeah.
like ridiculous, I don't really believe in them, so
That's
that's
pure
pretty cool.
communism, but not Chinese communism.
That's what I'm saying. China's great.
Yeah, I'm with China. I'm glad we all agree here. China's based.
Yeah, we wouldn't be having these problems if we were like China. Confusion over who won the election. Okay, like, all right.
So much more stable. Well, I got one more. There's a Karen freaking out. I gotta say, I only pulled three, but there's so many great freakouts. I encourage all of our listeners to go and find some. Here we go.
And there will be more.
Deception! I call Michigan out of all darkness! I call our governor out of deception and deceit! Richard Whitmer, you are a leader that's leading deception and lies and hidden agendas, and we will not stand for it! And we are bringing the rule and reign of Jesus Christ! This is the end!
Pretty solid freakout right there.
It's just
You
your
know,
mind.
you know that you're a stable person when you see an election and it doesn't go your way, and your first thought is, I'm gonna go scream in public about this.
There's crazies on both sides. I'm telling you.
Oh, big time. And we're here to make fun of all of them. That's why we exist.
Just be normal. Just be fucking normal. I swear, like sometimes I swear to God, we just need a federal officer on every street corner pointing guns at people, just telling them like be a fucking normal person.
These people, though, I mean, they're content generators. Like, they are kind of what we need. Everybody likes to look and point and laugh at these people, no matter who you are. I mean, they're really doing kind of a service.
Yeah, we'd be out of a podcast
Like
if these people didn't exist.
this is the problem with our democracy. It's not about our trade deficits or our debt or anything else. It's about our fucking surplus of retards.
The
Yeah, I mean,
retard economy.
democracy is
Yes.
pretty, like, objectively a pretty bad idea. I mean, like, realistically. Like, you'd get laughed out of the room anytime before, like, the last couple hundred years if you mentioned democracy. They're like, the common man deciding things? No, no, no. Which is why we don't really have a democracy, because people are dumb.
No.
And I mean, why would you? It's a bad idea. Like, Jesus Christ, have you talked to these people?
It's like we vote on like the two worst candidates possible, and then we can't even agree
What's
which
what's
one won.
interesting about it though is people think it's because people aren't informed. Like I always hear like democracy doesn't work because people are uninformed, but actually the more informed people are, the worse they are. Like I don't know. It seems like the more people pay attention to politics, the more deranged and ridiculous their opinions are. There's
Right.
no good middle
Right.
ground.
It's also tiring.
You see, I feel the opposite. This kind of energizes me. Like it was tiring to me. I remember back when politics was not like this, and I was like, oh God. Whenever anyone brings it up, I'm like, who cares, man? But when I see people freaking out and I see all this drama and shit, like then it's interesting. It's something I pay attention to and have fun with.
Did you get any clips of Donald Trump? What he's had to say?
No, I didn't. I assumed everybody
No.
already seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's a little bit it's a little bit
It's
concerning.
oh yeah. I mean, it's all on the table right now. Like he could straight up try and like military coup. Like we could see. I don't even know. I don't know what we could see.
Go full Francisco
I want him to
Franco.
get up on stage, with like a little green man and be like, "This is my alien ambassador. I wasn't supposed to show you guys this, but here he is. 9/11. That was Bush. Let's see, what else could he do? He could like show everyone the door that leads into like center of the earth where they have like the lizard people. I don't know. I want to see him just blow all the shit.
Epstein Island, everyone was on it. I know, I was there. I'm not here anymore anyways. Fuck it.
Yeah, that
I'm
would be.
taking all you fucks out with me.
Just starts pointing. You were there, and you were there, and she was there. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I feel like he'd be the type of guy if he doesn't get away with like lawsuiting himself to the presidency. I bet you he'd be the guy to like go out the door saying all that kind of shit.
We're not done yet. We have a few weeks of interesting politics before, if Joe Biden wins, we go back to boring politics. Which, by the way, I mean, I don't know what the media is going to do. I don't know what your podcast is going to do. This is kind of like a political podcast. And if it's literally just like Joe Biden says things, Supreme Court denies things, like nothing happens for 4 years, I mean,
Well, no, that's amazing. This podcast is dedicated to victories of the center. So if nothing is happening, I mean that'll be great for our content.
The thing is that there are always wing cucks out there. There's always retards out there that we can make fun of.
Yeah.
And the existing platforms are going to become more of echo chambers. They're not even going to talk to each other. I see it getting a lot worse, not a lot better. Because I
Yeah.
think
I mean, all we really have now are echo chambers.
wing
So.
cuckery is derived from these echo chambers and from the internet. People in real life aren't like that so much.
that's really reassuring. I was scared I was gonna have to like read books and like like I was genuinely pretty scared that things were gonna be super boring and lame. So thank you for those words, Ron.
Don't worry, we're in this forever. We're in hell. You can never leave.
Just like guac.
Just like Guac, poor guy. All right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end this episode. To finish out, I just wanna congratulate Richard Spencer's candidate, Joe Biden, for winning the election. I think he did a great job, and I think Richard Spencer is very proud of him. So
Yep. Yep, very happy.
we're gonna do some voicemails. See you next week.
I'm old as a boomer. My mind set on Zoomer. Everything cooler, long as I'm not Laura Loomer. If you think I'm not number one, I just spell that rumor. Hit the victory royale on some motherfucking coochie. Default dance on a bitch. Hit the default dance on a bitch. Floss dance while I'm flossing in a whip. Victory royale when that chopper hit. Self-incrimination, I have no participation. News keep asking, I don't say shit. You can't have my conversation.
Okay, you gotta have someone answering this phone number. Like, you can't just have a dummy phone number. I thought I was gonna get your personal cell here. I'm gonna be writing a comment about this right now, okay? It's okay. It's not a big deal. Sorry. I mean, I'm probably not coming off that good. This is the first
Nope.
time. I was just expecting to hear your voice, Maybe I did. Maybe that was your voice, that'd be cool. But do you see what I'm saying? It's all about pacing. It's about confidence. I was a little angry at first. I'm trying to give you an impression, of how you can kind of command. But I mean, I'm not really, Are you gonna play this on your show? Fuck, I'm hanging up now.
All right, that came from Meta. He wants to give me voice lessons. He heard people complaining about my
Thank
voice.
God.
Fuck you. And he said he stepped up to the plate. He said, "I'm gonna save the day." And we've been in talks a little bit. I think in the next caller episode, I'm gonna have him call in and give me voice lessons live on air. We'll see if it's
Sweet.
interesting at all.
I definitely wouldn't give him your personal cell or any way that he can really. There's definitely. I mean, there's just something like a little disturbing about like the way he's talking. I thought this was gonna be your personal cell. I'm gonna write a comment. Like I don't know, that kind of stuff just kind of freaks me out. I just could detect that little edge.
I think he's just a high energy individual. I think he's very dedicated to improving my voice. I like his energy. I think that he's gonna really bring it in the show. And to be honest, he kind of seems like he might be a dick to me a little bit, which is it'll be funny. I think.
I'm just saying, like, why would you want to be like an expert with like voice things to the point where you're giving voice lessons? Because
He doesn't sound like an
because
expert
you're a
on voice
sociopath and you're trying to
controls.
lull people into a false sense of security. You know what I mean? Like, it's an inherently manipulative art.
It's like being a model photographer. Like guys that are like, yeah, I just take pictures of nude women. I do it for art though. I'm an artist. It's like, bro, you're just trying to see some nipple and you're probably a predator. We all know what's going on. Well, I'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Here we go.
Hey guys, long time listener here. I just have one question. Why the fuck is your intro so long? I mean, jeez, I'm talking like sitting here for 30 fucking seconds listening to this garbage ass music. Do you realize how short my breaks are at work? 30 seconds is a fuck ton of time. I gotta get back. Sorry.
Well, I'm sorry, but the intro is incredibly based. Aggie White really laid down some shit there. And I would say that your voicemail, it was 24 seconds long, probably took about 10 seconds to call in. So, what's going on with that, man? You seem to have some time for that. Pretty sure that was Ian, by the way. It sounded like Ian. Hi, Ian. So I'm gonna give Ian a little bit of a tip here. Just go ahead and skip 30 seconds when you open the podcast, and there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about cuts it, boys. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week, people.
Yeah. Peace out, gorillas.
Peace.